Let's start by making the honey cake layers. Into a mixing bowl, add 2 eggs. Next, add 140 grams of honey, followed by 60 grams of sugar, a pinch of salt, and 60 grams of butter. Transfer everything to a saucepan and place it over medium heat. Stir continuously until the butter has completely melted and all the ingredients are well combined. Now add 8 grams of baking soda. You'll notice the mixture becoming light and foamy almost immediately. Keep stirring constantly and cook it for another 4 to 5 minutes. This step gives the cake layers their beautiful honey flavor and soft texture. Once the mixture is ready, remove it from the heat and allow it to cool slightly until it's warm, but no longer hot. Then transfer it to a larger bowl that's convenient for mixing the dough. Add 350 grams of flour. Start mixing everything together with a spatula. At first, the mixture will seem sticky and soft, but as the flour is incorporated, it will gradually come together into a dough. Keep mixing until there are no dry spots left and the dough becomes smooth and uniform. Lightly flour your work surface and transfer the dough onto the table. Now begin kneading it by hand. The dough should be soft, slightly elastic, and easy to work with. If it feels too sticky, add a small amount of flour, but be careful not to add too much. We want the cake layers to stay tender after baking. After a few minutes of kneading, the dough should become smooth and hold its shape nicely. This is exactly the consistency we're looking for. Place a sheet of parchment paper on your work surface and divide the dough into 10 equal pieces. To make sure every cake layer is the same size, I like to weigh the entire dough first and then divide that number by 10. This way, each portion has exactly the same weight. Take 1 piece of dough and place it on the parchment paper. Roll it out very thinly. Don't be afraid to make it almost transparent. That's the secret to delicate honey cake layers. Dust your rolling pin lightly with flour whenever necessary to prevent the dough from sticking. Once the dough is rolled out, cut out a circle. I use the lid from a small saucepan as a guide, but you can use a plate, cake ring, or anything similar. Remove the excess dough around the edges with a knife. Save all the scraps because we'll bake them too and use them later for decoration. Prick the entire surface with a fork. This helps prevent the cake layers from puffing up in the oven. Bake the layer in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 5 minutes or until beautifully golden brown. Now let's move on to the cream filling. For the custard base, heat the milk in a saucepan. In another saucepan, crack in 4 eggs. Add 100 grams of sugar and 50 grams of cornstarch. Whisk everything together until completely smooth. Place the saucepan over medium heat and continue stirring constantly. Make sure to scrape the bottom and sides of the pan as the mixture thickens. Gradually pour in 600 grams of hot milk while whisking continuously. This helps create a silky smooth custard without any lumps. Add 180 grams of white chocolate and keep stirring until it melts completely into the custard. Continue cooking until the cream becomes thick and glossy. Remove the custard from the heat and give it one final stir. Add 50 grams of butter and mix until fully incorporated. Cover the surface directly with plastic wrap to prevent a skin from forming and leave it to cool completely. Once chilled, remove the plastic wrap and stir the custard until smooth again. In a separate bowl, whip 300 grams of cold, heavy cream until thick and fluffy. Now gradually add the cooled custard in 3 or 4 additions, mixing well after each one. This creates a light, airy cream with a rich vanilla ice cream flavor. And now it's time for the best part, assembling the cake. Set one cake layer aside for the crumbs. Place the first layer onto your serving plate and spread a generous amount of cream on top. Continue layering the cake, spreading cream evenly between each layer. Once all the layers are stacked, use the remaining cream to cover the sides and top of the cake. Take the reserved cake layer and crush it into fine crumbs. You can also use any baked scraps you saved earlier. Cover the entire cake with the crumbs, making sure to coat the sides evenly. For decoration, add fresh berries on top. I like using a combination of raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries for a colorful finish. I also added a few small sprigs of rosemary for an elegant touch. Finish everything with a light dusting of powdered sugar. Let the cake rest in the refrigerator for several hours, or preferably overnight, so the layers can soften and absorb all that delicious cream. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this beautiful homemade honey cake. Enjoy!